is met with the most robust response in the coming days and weeks. I've got Aubrey from the Times.
Thank you, Prime Minister. You said that violent disorder is being whipped up online. What are you going to do to combat that spread of disinformation? Are you going to haul in social media companies? Could you restart the rapid rebuttal unit in Whitehall? And what is your message to Nigel Farage, who obviously asked this week whether the truth is being withheld? Do you think that was responsible for anything?
In relation to the platform providers, some of it isn't as complicated as it may at first seem. So inciting violence online is a criminal offence. And that is not a matter of free speech. It is a criminal offence. Clearly, in relation to platform providers, there's a balance to be struck. Social media platform providers, it's an amazing opportunity that we all enjoy as a country, that is very important to us, that these platforms are there to be used for the great opportunities that they provide. There is also a responsibility that goes conversation to take place. In relation to the comments of others, look, I'm not going to stand here and cast judgment on what others are saying. I know what I'm saying, and I know why I'm saying it very, very clearly, which is my focus, whenever I'm confronted with any questions about this, is on the families and victims of those, particularly in Southport, who were so affected by this. I would also add the police officers. I had the privilege of going up the day after this incident to speak to the police officers who had to deal in responding, the first responders to this. Remarkably but unsurprisingly, they were back on duty. But I'm not going to pretend to you that they weren't affected by what they had to witness, what they'd had to deal with. They said to me, as they always do, I was simply doing my job, and of course they were. But doing your job, you know, there's no way what happened to them or what they had to endure, had to respond to, was anything other than extraordinarily challenging. And I think that if we all start with a clear focus on the victims, their families, and the police officers who had to respond to this horrific attack, that will be a good template or framework for the discussion of all of these matters. I've got Rowena from The Guardian.
Rowena Mason from The Guardian. Nigel Farage is the leader of Reform. He did very well, obviously, in the election, and he's been accused of spreading conspiracy theories about the Southport tragedy and his response to it. Is it enough to say that you just won't comment on what he's said, given that some people, including a former police chief, have linked his comments to the violence that broke out in the riots?
Look, I'm not going to run a sort of running commentary on the motives of other people. What I am saying is my focus is on the families, the victims who are at the heart of this, and I think that that should be the focus for everybody. Anybody who says or does anything that impedes their ability to get the justice that they deserve cannot claim to be acting in their best interests, because they're not. Thank you. And I've got John from the Mirror.
Hello, thank you. What consequences will there be if social media firms do fail to take action?
Well, I think there's a discussion to be had, and it is a balance, and it needs to be the right balance, because social media is a fantastic opportunity, but it also carries responsibility, and that's the mature discussion that we've had. What we've done today is have a discussion with law enforcement and the police, which is about pulling things together for a coordinated response. What has not worked well recently with the previous government, in my view, is the performative politics of a government blaming everybody else and pointing fingers. That approach, to me, is not effective. It's the performative politics that I've put an end to with a government of service. My approach is different, which is to roll my sleeves up, get the relevant people around the table and fix the problems and meet the challenges that we have as a country. We did that with law enforcement and the police this afternoon. A similar approach with social media, which is not performative politics, which gets you nowhere, but the politics of service, which is to actually work together to address the challenges that we have and make sure that we keep the country safe and respect the values of our fellow citizens, which are about law enforcement, security and safety. Thank you all very much indeed.